Hello students, this video is about aggregate production planning strategies or techniques part 2. I hope you have seen the part 1 in which we have discussed the chase strategy. Now in this video we are going to discuss the remaining 3 strategies and then we will do the comparison of all the 4 strategies. So once again, this is the JC company's example on page 496 of Jacobs, and the data given is this, which we have discussed in the part 1 video. Now strategy 2 is about constant workforce and varying inventory as well as accepting stockout situations. So the workforce level arrived at 40. How they have arrived at? They have taken the total demand forecasted for this entire period, which is 8,000, the total number of working days available, which is 125, and this 8,000 requires 5 hours per unit, so total hours required is this much, and every day we have 8 hours available, so 125 into 8, when you divide this total hours by 125 into 8, we get the average workforce level, which comes to be 40. So in this problem we are going to assume that we have 40 workforce level, and then we are going to use that particular workforce level completely. So to start with, in January we have 400 units as inventory, which is already given to us. 22 working days are available, so 22 into 8 hours per day per worker, and we have 40 workers, so total work hours available in the entire month is 7040, and we know that we get 1 unit every 5 hours, so when you divide this by 5 labor hours, you get the total production for this month will be 1408, right? And the demand forecasted is 1800, which is already here, 1800, right? So 1408 will be the actual production plus this 400 beginning inventory, so 1808 minus the demand forecast 1800. So what is going to remain with us? Ending inventory will be just 8. 1808 minus 1800, right? So there will not be any shortage because we still have material after satisfying the demand, right? The safety stock is 450, which is calculated earlier, 0.25% of the demand, but in this case we do not have enough leftover for the safety stock, right? So our we do not have any excess inventory left over, so even the inventory cost will be also 0, because whatever is there will be part of our safety stock. So this 22 days, 40 workers, and we are going to pay them at $4 per hour. So the total multiplication 22 into 8 into 4 into 40 will give you 28,160. That is the straight time cost. Now in February we have beginning inventory of 8, which was the ending inventory here. Then when we work out here, we get 19 working days into 40 hour workers, 8 hours, 6080 is available total hours in the month, divided by 5, we get this is the production, 1216. What is the requirement? We want 1500. So definitely we are not going to fulfill the requirement, and we are going to run short by 276, right? Because beginning inventory plus actual production minus demand forecast will give us minus 276. So therefore the shortage cost will now we need to consider, which is $5 per unit shortage. So 276 into $5, 1380. Please understand, this is a cost which will be always positive even though we are having shortage, right? That is why this cost is coming, but it will be a positive cost. Safety stock is 375. So right now we do not have any safety stock, and so this calculation will be for 19 into 8 into 40 into 4 will give us 24,320. In the beginning inventory, that is back order, we have 276, right? In this month we have 21 days, so 6720 hours available. We can produce 1344. The demand for this forecast is 1100. So after fulfilling this 276, when we use this formula, we will be left over still a shortage of 32, and then our shortage cost will be 32 into 5, 160. Safety stock is 275, but we will not be able to put anything in the safety stock, right? So the straight time cost will be calculated. This minus 32 will come here. 21 days available. The production will be 13440. Demand is low 900. So here we are going to have 412 left over after the entire completing the back orders, right? Safety stock is 225. So here after this safety stock 187 we have to carry for the as our ending stock or excess units, right? And then the inventory cost for this will be 187 into 1.5, so that will be 281, right? For safety stock we will not be having any inventory carrying cost, right? So but here what is available with us, this ending inventory will be always going here as the opening inventory. Again 22 days, this 7040 hours available. 1408 is the actual production, 1100 is the demand. So basically ending inventory will be 720. Shortage cost will not be there because we are positive here. Safety stock 275, so excess units 720 minus 275 is 445, and at 1.50 our inventory carrying cost will be 445 into 1.50, 668. So this is how we calculate for June also, and in June also we are having positive, but safety stock is exactly matching the ending inventory, so there will be no inventory carrying cost. So this is our total calculation here. The shortage cost total for the 6 months 1540. The inventory carrying cost will be 948. Straight time cost will be 160,000. So total is 162,488. So strategy 2 calculations are over. In strategy 3, we are now going to have a lower level of workforce, which is 25. How we have calculated this? We have used the lowest month, which is April, and the demand for that is 850, or the production requirement is 850 for this. So based on that we have calculated our 25 is the lowest level which we will go with. So if you see the production requirement, this 1850, which is now available here from the earlier calculations. If you see the part 1, you will get that 1850 because 400 is the opening inventory. So based on that, this 1850 is coming, right? So 1850, you will refer this from the first video. So 1850, 22 working days you have, and 25 workers. So actual production will be 880 here based on this, and the subcontracted units will be this production requirement 1850 minus the 880 actual production. So 970 we have to subcontract it outside, which will be done at $20 per unit. So this will be your subcontract cost, and the straight line cost will be for 25 people this much. So in this way you will be using the production requirements from the first table in the first video, which we have done this calculation here, and based on this we will find out the units to be subcontracted, right? And then based on this, our total cost for subcontracting it's coming 60,000, straight time cost is 100,000, and 160,000 is the total overall cost. Now in the last strategy, which is strategy 4, we will be using overtime. Here we have assumed that 38 people or workforce level is 38. Again we calculate here starting from beginning inventory and the number of 38 hours workers, the total hours available is this much, right? And regular shift production will be this much, because this divided by 5 you will get produce this much. Our demand forecast is 1800. So units available before the overtime, that is this one will be beginning inventory plus regular shift production minus demand forecast. So for the overtime, units available is 62, right? So 62 units will be available for overtime, which we need to produce. So units overtime into 5 hours into 6 hours, because the total cost is 1.5 times 6 hours. So 1860 will be the total overtime which we need to pay. Safety stock is 450. So basically we will not be having any safety stock because we are producing on overtime. So there will be no inventory cost, but we will be only having the overtime cost and the straight line cost. Same is the situation here. We do not have anything beginning inventory, and then here our overtime units which we are running short is 345, right? So units overtime will be 375. This 375 is a typo error. It should be 345 only. Units overtime into 5 hours per unit into 6 will be getting this calculations, right? So safety stock will be 375 here. So whatever is produced will be there in your safety stock, right? So units overtime you will produce, and nothing will be available because we are just meeting the shortage through the overtime, and nothing will be available for carrying for the next week, next month. So this will be the total costing here. So in similar way we will calculate here, and here we are going to have basically no overtime is required because we are already producing extra based on the 38 people, and we will be actually having 177 as our excess units. So there is no units which are required to be produced on overtime. So there will be no overtime cost. 275 will be your safety stock, but we have only 177, right? So this will be your straight line cost. This 177 will be available in the next April here. So you will see here from March to June we will be always having excess production, and for that whatever is more than our safety stock, right, here 554 minus 225, so 329 will be your excess inventory which you will to consider for inventory carrying cost. So multiply that by 1.50, so you will have this inventory carrying cost. So overall if you see, you will have overtime cost of 12,210, inventory carrying cost of 1281, and the total your total overall cost will be 165,491. So when you compare all the four strategies, you will see that, right, the total overall costing is the minimum in the plan 3 where we are using subcontract. So if you see here, 160,000 is your the plan 3 lowest cost, and hence plan 3 is the most economical plan which we should recommend to the management, right? And if you want to find out the total cost, you need to add the material cost for the 8,000 total units into 100 to this, right? So 800,000 will be added here, and 960,000 will be the total overall cost. So this is how we calculate 6 months aggregate production planning, the most economical way forward. Thank you.